Hi everyone, my name is Ben, and I'm the Creative Services Coordinator here at Addison Public Library. Today, my friend Leslie and I sat down with Bob Dahlke Jr., the Head of Business Development at VISOgraphic, a small business that moved from Burr Ridge all the way to Addison because we're just that awesome. So sit back and enjoy our conversation just as much as we did, and get to know one of our friends in Addison.
Hi, my name is Leslie Serrier. I'm the Business Services Librarian at the Addison Public Library, and today I'm here with Bob. Bob, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Bob Dahlke Jr. I'm with VISOgraphic here in Addison, of course, and wanted to introduce my business. My family has owned Viso since 1979, and Viso's been in business since 1946. About 6 years ago, we bought a building in Addison and moved our entire plant from Burr Ridge to Addison. We're super happy that we're part of the community here. And basically, we're a B2B business. So we service businesses locally in the Chicagoland area and around the United States. And we do direct mail, commercial printing, packaging, but we pretty much service B2B. So the nonprofit space, corporate space, packaging space. And we employ about 50 employees here. Our plant runs 24 hours, and we're happy to be part of Addison.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you. Can you talk a little bit about why you chose to come to Addison? I know you said you've been here about 6 years.
Sure. So, as I said, Viso started in 1946 after World War II, and the current owners had a plant basically at I-55 and Route 83. We expanded our business over the years and determined about, 7-8 years ago that we needed to buy a building that would suit our needs. Also geographically, we have a lot of customers that come in, say from O'Hare Airport, and have to come to our plant to press check things. So we wanted something also in DuPage County. So we looked at a bunch of different communities and a bunch of different buildings, and really Addison really was the clear-cut winner for their manufacturing base and the type of building we looked at. So we bought it and got an SBA loan as well to fix up. We did property improvements to our building. And 6 years later, we couldn't be happier with the choice of location. So it's been a good location, and we have no plans on moving.
That's good. That's what we like to hear. If anyone has seen the library newsletter, that is printed by VISOgraphic. So it is beautiful, and we love it.
Yeah, we do a lot of libraries. That's interesting that you say that. We do a bunch of libraries around the Chicagoland area. And I'll be honest, the libraries have all been really busy. Obviously with COVID, it's a little bit different right now, but the libraries around Chicagoland are thriving entities, big time. So it's good to see.
We still are during COVID, which is nice. We've just been able to meet you all in a different virtual space. There's a reason we're not all together getting to do this interview, unfortunately. Yeah. So I know you mentioned you have a family business, but what inspired them to start that business? How did you decide to get involved and go into the family business?
Basically, I went to college and got my CPA degree, and then I worked for Price Waterhouse, and then I worked for Abbott Labs. I had a great job at Abbott. I was an international audit and traveled around the world for 3 years. My dad had still owned VISOgraphic, and he had a partner that he didn't get along with that much. But make a long story short, I was at the end of my rotational program at Abbott, and my father called me when I was in Rome and said, I bought my partner out. Do you want to come to the family business? So after 6-7 years in corporate, I joined the family business, and it's awesome. I get to work with my brother, who's really the chief operating officer here, and my father, who just turned 79 a couple weeks ago, and he comes in every single day as sharp as a tack and adds tons of value to our company. So it's fantastic. When my dad bought Viso in 1979, he was looking at a couple different companies to buy. One of them was Lincoln Towing, downtown Chicago. One of them was a clock shop by Water Tower Place, and one was a small printing company in Hinsdale called VISOgraphic with like 5 employees and 1 printing press. So we've grown it to what it is now, and we're happy to, my dad says his favorite part is that he supports 50 families around the Chicagoland area that have been able to have a good job, good healthcare benefits, send their kids to college, and have a good life. So, but it's fun. The best part is the family aspect and all the different technology investments we've made. So.
Well, you already answered my next question. I was going to ask you what your favorite part about running your business is, but you've got that covered.
Yep.
So what makes your business different than other businesses offering similar services?
I think our commitment to the digital space and the litho offset space. I mean, we basically go into companies, and we've changed, so much in the last even 2 or 3 years. But basically, we can offer, big print runs on a litho press or very small runs on our digital. And we're really starting to be supply chain partners with our clients. We offer a lot of web interfaces for customers. Say, for example, a doctor's group around Chicago that has 20 offices. We build online portals for their business to manage their collateral online. And they can go on the site, they can order variable products, they can download a PDF deliverable, or hit a button and we can print it and ship it anywhere around the USA. So it's really being a supply chain partner and identifying differences. So we're definitely not like a Vistaprint. We can definitely do that if you want 500 of something, but we more are in the area of servicing businesses and finding what they need from a digital or printed collateral, and how we can, get that out into the market. We also we do a lot of direct mailing, a lot of automotive direct mail, a lot of healthcare direct mail. And really, direct mail is still the absolute best way to get in touch with customers. If Leslie, you're looking to get a car, you might go on, a website and look. But if you're not thinking of getting a car and you get a direct mail piece in the mail that directs you to the internet or to a site, that's a lot of what we do. So we're doing triggering activities for our corporate and nonprofit customers to get people connected digitally with their companies. That's a lot of what we do here.
So if there's one thing you want our viewers to know about your business, what would you like that to be?
I would say the one thing is that, it's funny because I talk to my kids when they were little, they're like, oh, you're a printing company. Nobody prints stuff anymore. I would say that it's a thriving business. We're not really the business to print manuals and, informational pieces like that can go online. But if you look around, there's so much that's printed, any kind of packaging, any kind of, thing you're going to get in the mail. And people like the 3D and the touch. And it's, our industry is vibrant. We employ a ton of people. And now as we're shifting from, just duplicating things, and we're doing variable, really one-to-one direct marketing, it's changed our industry a lot and has affected on how we make our investments and how we serve the community.
That's wonderful. I would say I was lucky enough to take a tour of your facility, and I thought it was fascinating, and you guys are doing some great stuff there, and your employees all seem so happy. So that's always great to see.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. So we'll shift a little bit. I know we briefly touched on this, but obviously we're interviewing remotely due to COVID-19. How has COVID-19 affected your business? What have you been doing differently due to this pandemic?
Well, it's been tough for manufacturers. I mean, I would say us included, and everybody in our business park in Addison, a lot of people have been adversely affected. We were lucky enough to get a PPP loan, which is over now. I would say when everything got shut down around the end of March, it really adversely affected our business and a ton of different manufacturers. April and May were super challenging. But I think right now, as we sit here mid to late June, we can see some improvements, but I think they're going to be incremental. And I don't think we'll be fully, our customers will be engaged fully until the fourth quarter is my guess. I just think we need a vaccine, and operationally, since we're classified as essential, we can still operate, but we have a lockdown facility. If people come in here, they have to get a temperature check, they have to wash their hands, and they have to wear a mask. So our manufacturing area, everybody's wearing masks, et cetera. But, we're not contracting at all. We actually bought a new big press in December, and we decided to keep going with that purchase because we know it's going to pay off in the future. So actually right now, as we speak, it's getting installed, which is exciting. And we have a couple videos. If anybody wanted to go to our website, they can see what a press install looks like. We condensed it down from like 2 weeks to 30 seconds. It's like a time lapse, which is pretty cool. So if you go on our website, you can see that. It's VISOgraphic.com. So.
Oh, that's really cool. I want to watch that. I love the time lapse.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Twenty's been a real interesting year for the printing industry, and a lot of people have been negative, obviously, the first few months here, but I'm one of the people that's optimistic about our industry. And I think coming out of COVID-19, I think we're going to have increased demand, and I think we're going to be in a better spot. I think the companies that have invested wisely in their equipment and the ones that are customer-centric are going to see the benefit in the back half of the year.
Is there anything new that you've implemented due to COVID-19 and this pandemic that you think you might continue doing, a service you didn't know you'd offered and you're really liking, or a procedure?
One of the products that we're sort of offering more to our restaurant groups are one-touch menus. So instead of doing a menu that's like plastic and laminated, that's for many uses, we're doing more single-use type things. We're also, for the pharmaceutical industry, we're doing antimicrobial coating that we're putting on sheets. So sometimes we're just printing nothing on white paper except this antimicrobial coating, and then it goes to a pharma company that makes boxes out of them. Now, it's not certified for COVID, but it is certified for other different kinds of bacteria. So it basically is a coating that can kill certain kinds of bacteria. So we're seeing a little bit of that, but we've definitely been impacted like everybody. You know, when businesses are getting impaired, one of the first things they cut back on is marketing, and we're a sales and marketing organization. That's really what we do for people, including packaging. So even though, you know, the last few months have been challenging, I think it's going to get better towards the end of the year and next year for sure.
Good. So in addition to, we've loved learning about your business, but we want to get to know a little bit more about you as well as a member of our community. So what are some of your favorite spots in Addison when you could go out and enjoy them?
I'd say two spots. One of them that we go to all the time is 601, which is the restaurant right around the corner from us. We're there all the time. We bring customers there all the time. And I think it gets to the point where when I sit down, they bring me my Diet Coke with lime because I'm in there so much. So love that place. Another place that we like to go to is Bok Choy. That's another great place. That's on Lake there. And even like the local places, like we go to the nursery right on Army Trail to get plants. And if you come to our plant, our whole front is filled with plants and landscaping. That's one of the things I like to do in my spare time, my stress relief, I guess you could say. So we've been really pleased with Addison, the location, and all the different businesses around here.
That's great. So other than planting, is there anything else that you like to do in your spare time?
I like to go to college football games. I went to Notre Dame, so I try to go to those a lot. And the best part of that is bringing my kids and spending time with my family with that. You know, like to do fishing. Because of COVID, we've been on a grandfather, father, son, grandson, cousin, uncle fishing trip for the last 38 years. And this year is the first year it got canceled because the borders closed. But so I love to fish as well and work out, but spend time with my family. I've got a couple of kids in college and one in high school now. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. So we wouldn't be the library if we didn't ask you, what is your favorite book?
All right. My favorite book by far is something I read a long time ago. It's called Red Storm Rising by Tom Clancy. it's sort of a Cold War type. He's a sort of a spy novelist, and he's a little bit older. So that is my absolute favorite book. The book that I'm currently reading right now is not a religious book, but it's called The Last Days of Jesus, and it's a historical book that looks at like Jesus' life from a purely historical perspective. Like, this is where he grew up and that kind of stuff. But I love to read, and I got to tell a quick reading story that is funny. And this is probably 12, 13, 14 years ago when we were on vacation somewhere in Florida, sitting on a beach, and our kids were little. And my wife, who also works, were sitting there, and our kids were sort of playing in the beach right there. And they came up and they're like, "What are you doing, Mom and Dad?" And we're both reading books. And we're like, "We're reading." And they're like, "Well, isn't reading where they make you do that in school?" Because they were in grade school. You had to read an hour and stuff. I said, as you get older, you're going to get engrossed in books, and you're going to love them. And, they've read all the Harry Potter. Now they've turned the corner and are readers. But it's just funny how you go full circle. But there's nothing better than getting lost in a book, that's for sure.
I love that. That's such a great story. So if you could switch careers and do anything you wanted, it didn't matter about financial concerns or skills, what would you do?
Wow. I love to fish. I'd love to be a fishing guide somewhere in northern Wisconsin or southern Canada. I love to do that. And the other thing that I love to do is I used to teach ice skating in the community. I live in Northbrook, so I used to teach skating to like special needs kids, and that was super rewarding. I grew up playing ice hockey and soccer as a kid, but just to do something like that and teach somebody like a new skill, those are great memories I have.
Oh, that's awesome. Sounds fun to me. I don't have any of those skills, but it does sound like a good idea. So is there anything else you'd like to say or share with the community of Addison as we wrap up here?
I would just say, that, with the COVID and everything going on, I would say just be positive, be kind, and, help people out wherever you can, whether it be picking up the phone and talking to somebody or doing Zoom calls. I mean, we've had to adjust how we do our business, doing Zoom calls and texting and phone, but we're going to come out of this. Everybody will. And if we all work together, we can make Addison and the whole Chicagoland area better, and just hang in there and be positive.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you sharing about your business and how much you've impacted our community.
Yeah, we love Addison. We're happy to be here, and we're going to be longtime residents for sure. So thank you for everything you guys give to the community as well.
Thanks again to Bob for spending some time with Leslie and I to talk about VISOgraphic. If you enjoyed our conversation as much as we did, go ahead and check out their website at www.visographic.com and look below in the description to check out all their different social media pages so you can follow along and stay up to date with everything they have going on. All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Our Friends in Addison.